Animated backgrounds can add a nice touch to your 2D games, especially if you're creating a fighting game or even a 2D side-scroller like Gradius, where player movement is independent from the background. For this video, we will create a simple sunset because sunset is what I drew as the very first drawing of my life. Welcome back to the channel, long time no see, but stuff happened in the life, so anyway, I'm using Unity 6 and my project is set up in URP and I have this simple scene. Now first let's create a canvas. So UI canvas, and then I'm going to set the render mode to screen space camera, drag my camera in the render camera slot, and let's keep the plane distance to 100. This simply means my canvas will be rendered this much distance away from this camera. Then in the canvas scaler, let's set the scale mode to scale with screen size, and for the reference resolution I'm going to set it to 1440p, so 2560 and 1440. And for the match, let's set it to 1. This simply means that only scale the elements of this canvas if the screen's height changes. Now let's create an image as child of our canvas. So I'm going to create a panel that's basically the full screen image. Let's call it background, and then let's remove the source image, set it to none, and set the color full white with full opacity. Now let's create a shader for our background. So create shader graph URP and select canvas shader graph. Let's call it sunset. And we also need material for our shaders, so create material. Let's also call it sunset. Then select our background, and in this material slot, let's drag our material. Now in shaders, if you want to draw anything, you need UVs. So let's create a UV node. UVs are basically vector 2 with the values of 0, 0 here, and the X will go positive this side and Y will go positive upwards. But now I want this UV origin in the middle, so for that I have to use styling and offset node. And the styling and offset node already has the default UVs, so let's get rid of this one. And now with this offset, I can shift the origin. So I want it in the middle. So let's set it to -0.5, -0.5. And now with this UVs, let's create a sun. So for that, let's use a length node. And let's take our UVs and feed it into the input. Length node, as the name suggests, will return the length of a vector, or basically will return the distance from the origin. So we will have the value of 0 at the origin, and as we move away from the origin, the value will increase. Alright, let's take its output and feed it into subtract node. And I can subtract some values to control the size of the circle, like this. And for now, let's just visualize it. So take its output and feed it into the base color. Now we have a perfect circle in this preview, also in this preview as well. But if I switch to the game mode, well, our circle is basically stretched out. That's because my game's resolution is not exactly square. It's kind of in the landscape mode. So we have to compensate for the aspect ratio. So in our shader, let's create a screen node. It will give us the width and height of the screen in pixel. Let's simply divide our width with the height. So now I have the aspect ratio here, and I'm going to multiply it with the UV's X component. So first I need to split this output. Then let's take our X and multiply it with our aspect ratio. And now let's recombine the X and this Y. So let's create a vector 2. Let's take it and feed it into the X. And let's take our Y as it is, and then use it as this input. And nothing happens here, nor in the preview. But if I switch to the game mode, I have a perfect circle, and it will be perfect circle regardless of the screen size. So that's pretty cool. Now let's create a sun out of this. Alright, so currently we have positive values outside this circle, and at the edge of the circle we have the value of 0, and inside the circle we have negative values. And I don't need negative values here, so I'm going to clamp the value to not go below certain value. For that, let's create a maximum node. And for the B slot, let's set some positive values which will be closer to 0, so 0.001. And now to turn this into a glowing sun, let's create a divide node, so let's make some room. Take our maximum output and feed it into the B slot, and I can use some smaller value here to make a glowing sun. Let's go 0.01. And then to color the sun, I can simply multiply this output with a color node. Let's keep orangey color like this. By the way, you can use color property instead of hard coding the color value here. Alright, now that we have painted our sun, let's also paint the sky. So for that, I'm going to use another color. Let's set it to darkish blue. And let's add on top of the multiply node. Like this. Something like this. And now I can shift the position of my sun by offsetting this vector 2. So let's create a new tiling and offset node. Feed our vector 2 as the UVs. And let's use that instead. And now I can tweak the offset to shift the sun's position. Now in the bottom part of the image, I want to create an ocean, and I want to reflect the sun there as well. And to reflect the sun at the bottom here, I can use our UVs Y. Let's preview it. So here we have the value of 0, and it goes positive upwards and negative downwards. So if I use absolute node, so absolute node will turn the negative values into the positive values as well. And then let's use that as Y here. And now you can see that we have our reflection in the ocean as well. But you can see that the top and bottom is identical. I want to distinguish the sky and the ocean. So for that, first I need to create a mask for our ocean part or the bottom part. So again, I can use this Y and feed it into the step node. And let's set the edge to 0. And the step node simply means that if this input is greater than this edge, return 1, otherwise return 0. And now I want opposite of this, so I can invert the colors using 1 minus node, or I could simply flip this input order. Then I can subtract the step value from our final color. So let's use another subtract node. And let's subtract the step value. But now my ocean turned completely black. I don't want that. So to control the intensity, let's first multiply our step value. Let's multiply it with some smaller number, so 0.1 maybe. And then subtract that, or 0.01. Yep, that will do. And now you can see that we can distinguish that this is the ocean or water and this is the sky. Now one important thing is we are going to use this as the base color and not the emission. And because of the subtraction and addition, the final output could go beyond the value of 0 and 1. but the base color should be between 0 and 1s. So let's clamp our final color using saturate node and then feed it as the base color. Alright, now let's add some distortion in the bottom part to create an illusion that the water is actually flowing. So for that, let's come back to the styling and offset node. And if I shift this X, I can move the entire image. So if I somehow feed a value of X here, which is different for all rows of the pixel, I could distort the image. And I can do that using this absolute Y value. So let's take its output and multiply it. And then take its output and feed it into the sine node. And now if I tweak this multiply value, the values here will ping pong between -1 and 1. Now let's try to use the sine output as the X. So let's create a vector2 node. And for the Y, let's copy this, paste it here, and use this vector2 as the offset. So you can see that my image is heavily distorted. And now to control this distortion strength, I can simply multiply the sine output with some smaller value. Like this. Now I also want to animate this wave, so let's create the time node. Take the time and multiply it with some number to control the speed. Let's go 0.1 and then add it on top of our absolute Y, and then use this addition as the input of this multiply. And it's shifting like this. We want opposite, so let's add -0.1. Now obviously I want to distort the ocean part and not the sky part, so to simply fix that, I can multiply the sine output with this step node and then use this as the multiply. Now one final thing I want to do is I want to make it so that this distortion is less stronger at the horizon and it will gradually increase towards the bottom. So for that, I can again use this absolute Y and feed it into the power node. And power node will simply darken the values which are less than 1 as I increase the power. Then I can multiply it with this multiply. And then use this here instead. And let's tweak this. So as you can see that we have less distortion near the horizon and it gradually increases. Let's also tweak the multiply values. So yes, something like this will do. Let's end here today, but I'm going to add more complexity in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.